The abandoned mineshaft. In the boundless expanse of the Roblox universe, where blocky landscapes stretched under pixelated skies, and adventure was but a step away, there existed a realm known as the Whispering Peaks. It was a place of towering, jagged mountains, deep, verdant valleys, and forgotten nooks that held secrets centuries old. Among the many daring explorers who called this realm home was Spark, a determined Robloxian with a bright orange beanie, a trusty diamond pickaxe always at his side, and an insatiable hunger for discovery. He wasn't interested in the grand, bustling cities or the popular minigames. Spark's true passion lay in the quiet, desolate places, the echoes of histories unknown. One crisp morning, as the twin suns of the Whispering Peaks began their slow ascent, painting the world in hues of orange and violet, Spark found himself traversing a rarely visited canyon, a place rumored to be the Forgotten Scar on ancient maps. The air here was still, thick with the scent of damp earth and distant moss. His footsteps crunched softly on the peculiar, almost unnatural stone formations that littered the canyon floor. He paused by a crumbling waterfall, its gentle cascade barely audible over the whisper of the wind. Something caught his eye, a faint, almost invisible etching on a moss-covered rock face, a symbol he vaguely recognized from dusty lore books as an ancient miner's mark. Curiosity piqued, Spark carefully cleared away the clinging vines and loose stones. Beneath them, revealed with a soft click, was a narrow, dark opening, barely large enough for a Robloxian to squeeze through. It was the entrance to an abandoned mineshaft, swallowed by time and the very earth it once pierced. A shiver, not of fear but of pure excitement, coursed through the Spark's blocky form. This was it. The thrill of the unknown, the allure of a forgotten past. He retrieved a robust glowtorch from his inventory, its luminescent crystal casting an eerie, yet comforting green light into the oppressive gloom. The air within the shaft was cool and stagnant, thick with the scent of damp earth and ancient wood. The first few meters were relatively straightforward, following a set of rusted minecart tracks that seemed to melt into the darkness ahead. The wooden supports groaned faintly under the weight of time, and tiny crystalline formations sparkled on the damp rock walls like scattered jewels. Spark's imagination soared. He pictured the old Robloxian miners, their sturdy figures hunched over their picks, their voices echoing in these very tunnels. He wondered what they had sought and why they had left. Deeper he ventured, the initial simplicity giving way to escalating challenges. The path began to descend sharply, and the wooden tracks became increasingly broken, twisted, or swallowed entirely by sinkholes. Spark found himself leaping across chasms, his agile movements honed by countless prior explorations. He clung to precarious ledges, his fingers finding purchase on jagged rock edges, and carefully navigated sections where the ceiling seemed to sag precariously. His heart thumped a rhythm of exhilaration against his ribs. Each obstacle overcome filled him with a quiet satisfaction, pushing him further into the shaft's enigmatic embrace. A soft, rhythmic clicking sound reached his ears from further within. He advanced cautiously, his glowtorch held high. The source of the sound was a cluster of rock critters, small, almost spherical creatures made entirely of polished gray stone. They rolled slowly across the path, completely blocking his way. Their clicking was the sound of their tiny stone legs tapping the ground. Spark knew these creatures were harmless, but stubborn. He remembered reading that they were drawn to vibrant, natural energy. Reaching into his satchel, he produced a handful of rare glowing berries he'd collected from a bioluminescent cave. He scattered them carefully to the side of the tunnel, creating a sparkling trail. Slowly, with more clicks and gentle shuffles, the rock critters diverted their path, following the irresistible glow of the berries, clearing the way for Spark. The air grew noticeably colder, and a faint hum vibrated through the very bedrock. The mine began to branch out, a labyrinth of interconnected tunnels. He noticed faint, faded pictographs etched into the walls, rudimentary drawings depicting large, glowing crystals and shadowy figures working around them. These weren't just miners, they were builders, or perhaps engineers, obsessed with something grand. One particular drawing showed a massive central crystal, radiating light to the surface. Spark felt a profound sense of destiny guiding him. He arrived at a colossal chamber, vast and echoing, yet utterly dark. The glowtorch could only illuminate a fraction of its immense space. In the center, a monumental structure loomed, a titanic dormant machine crafted from dark metallic blocks and shimmering arcane circuits. It was cylindrical, reaching towards the unseen ceiling, adorned with intricate gears and conduits. This was surely the heart of whatever the ancient Robloxians had been building. The very perilous secret whispered about in forgotten legends. It was perilous, not because it threatened harm, but because it was a puzzle of immense scale, daring anyone to attempt its activation. Spark's mind raced. He moved closer, his glowtorch casting dancing shadows across the ancient machinery. He saw a series of pressure plates around the base, each etched with a different, strange symbol. Above them, a complex sequence of crystalline pipes snaked upwards, leading to various slots on the main mechanism. It was clear he needed to activate the plates in a specific order, and perhaps even feed something into the pipes. He began to examine the surrounding walls. There, hidden behind a thin layer of crystalline dust, he found another series of pictographs. They showed the ancient Robloxians performing a ritual of sorts around a similar, smaller device. Crucially, above each figure, a symbol was clearly depicted, corresponding to the symbols on the pressure plates, and next to each figure, a specific type of resource was shown being offered. It was a complex, visual instruction manual left behind by the mine's forgotten builders. Spark felt a surge of exhilaration. This wasn't just a mine. It was a grand clockwork puzzle, a testament to ancient ingenuity. He meticulously transcribed the sequence of symbols onto a mental notepad. Then, he began to search his inventory for the necessary resources. He had collected many oddities on his travels: gleaming geodes, rare earth blocks, a handful of concentrated mana crystals, and even some strangely conductive copper wire. It seemed his hoarding habits were finally paying off. The first pressure plate required a resonance crystal. Spark carefully placed one of his mana crystals onto it. A soft hum resonated through the chamber, and a segment of the giant machine glowed faintly. Encouraged, he moved to the next. This one needed a conduit of flow. He threaded the copper wire into a nearby slot, connecting it to the pipe. A soft whir echoed. The sequence was unfolding. He spent what felt like hours, his concentration absolute, moving from one pressure plate to the next, carefully inserting the correct materials into the designated slots, guided by the ancient pictographs. His fingers grew tired, his brow furrowed in concentration. The stakes felt immense. A single mistake might reset the entire sequence, or worse, permanently disable the magnificent machine. Each correct input brought a new section of the colossal device to life, lighting up with a gentle, internal glow. Gears the size of small homes slowly began to turn, producing a deep, resonant rumble that vibrated through the floor. The air crackled with a growing energy. Finally, with the insertion of the last, largest geode into the central slot, a blinding emerald light erupted from the very core of the massive mechanism. The hum became a mighty, harmonious thrum. The entire chamber was bathed in a radiant, pulsating green light, revealing intricate details he hadn't seen before. Crystalline veins running through the rock, shimmering moss, and carvings depicting the joyous faces of the ancient builders. The Sunken Sky-Core, as he now understood it to be, had awakened. But the spectacle wasn't over. The light intensified, then narrowed, focusing upwards. With a mighty groan that shook the very foundations of the Whispering Peaks, the ground above Spark began to shift. Looking up, he saw a crack form in the ceiling of the cavern, growing wider, revealing a sliver of the actual sky. The light from the Sky-Core beamed outwards, not just illuminating the mineshaft, but piercing the earth itself. Slowly, majestically, a massive, blocky island, overgrown with vibrant bioluminescent flora and adorned with forgotten ancient structures, began to rise from the very mountains. It was the Lost City of Aerthos, a legendary floating city powered by the Sky-Core, once thought to be mere myth. The ancient builders hadn't just mined. They had built a utopia, a beacon of light, and Spark had just brought it back to life. He emerged from the mineshaft, blinking in the real sunlight, only to gaze upon the incredible sight of Aerthos, slowly ascending into the sky, its ancient spires now bathed in a soft, ethereal glow. The entire Whispering Peaks realm was abuzz with wonder. Other Robloxians gathered, pointing, cheering, utterly awestruck by the impossible sight. Spark felt a profound sense of accomplishment. It wasn't about the loot or even recognition, but the sheer joy of discovery, of piecing together a forgotten puzzle, and of bringing light back to a dark and silent corner of the world. As the Lost City of Aerthos continued its slow, graceful ascent, a new, vibrant landmark in the Roblox sky, Spark understood the true treasure of his adventure. It was a quiet lesson whispered on the wind. The greatest discoveries are not always found in plain sight. They lie hidden in the forgotten places, patiently waiting for a curious heart, a persistent spirit, and a willingness to explore the unknown. For in every abandoned path, every complex puzzle, there might just be a world of wonder waiting to be reawakened.